In today's video, we talk about the fat burning zone. What's going on, guys? It's Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and I got a really cool video that I'm going to do today, and I have a special guest that's going to be helping us out. He's really smart, and he's a smart ass, but I think he'll be a great benefit, and I think we're going to start doing more content with Steven, who you'll meet shortly. But I wanted to address the elephant in the room, the Oakland A's jersey. You see, the last 2 days I've worn football jerseys, European football jerseys, and as I'm cleaning out my closet, I'm finding some cool vintage stuff. So for those that don't know, this is my all-time favorite baseball player, Rickey Henderson, and I have a lot of Rickey Henderson memorabilia, probably baseball cards numbering in the thousands, but I just thought I'd share that with you guys and wear a cool Rickey Henderson jersey. Cool in my opinion, maybe not in yours, but I'm gonna keep the jersey theme going the rest of this week. So hopefully you guys like my jersey collection. All right, so what's the topic today? Well, you clicked on the damn video, so you already know. The topic today is we're gonna talk about the magic of the fat burning zone, right? It's one of those questions I often get, I often overlook because I have an answer in my head, but I think it's very relevant. And what's even better is we're gonna bring Steven in. Steven is a grad student at the University of South Florida. He is studying exercise science. So we're gonna talk about some science today. We're gonna talk about physiology, and we're gonna talk about just what it means to actually burn fat. So let's bring Steven in. All right, guys, well, I'm here with Steven Beaugrand, who has been working for me for over a year.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Steven's been working for me for over a year. He helps out with everything from day to day, you know, my bodybuilding show, my camp. I mean, what else have you done? Helping set up the gym, flyers. Yeah, so basically, he is my, like, Mr. Do-It-All. He is the MVP of Pro Physique, outside of my wife. And he's gonna be helping me move here soon. He doesn't know that. He knows that. Anyway, so what I thought would be cool is to bring Steven in because he has a unique perspective. He's actually getting his master's degree in exercise science, and he proposed this idea for a video, and instead of doing it myself, I thought it would be better to bring you in and we'll talk about it. So let's talk about the fat burning zone. What I'm referring to, for maybe those that aren't familiar, are when you get on a cardio machine, it tells you basically what your heart rate should be,
right,
if you want to be burning fat. So why don't you explain what that means?
So when you get on the cardio machine, it's giving you an estimated heart rate based on your age for what you should be in. So normally for the machines, it's giving you a color for your heart rate on the monitor that's based on about 60 to 70% of your heart rate max, or your estimated heart rate max that it's going to establish from when you put your age into the little machine.
Yeah.
So that pretty much what that equates to is going to be a light to somewhat hard intensity if you're looking at an RPE scale.
So why is it considered the fat burning zone?
So the reason that it's considered the fat burning zone is because based on the intensity that you're exercising is going to determine what portion of the calories that you burn are burned from fat or carbohydrates.
Okay, exactly. So when we're talking about cardio, the type of cardio that we would do that would be using carbohydrates would be of a higher intensity, correct?
Right, it would be short duration, high intensity activity is going to be carbohydrate driven.
Right, so here's the issue that we have, folks, because when you're talking about the fat burning zone being magic, okay, yes, perhaps during this time, you might actually be burning more calories from fat. The issue becomes, cardio is not a magic little window where it's only that period of your life that is impacted.
Right.
So let's talk about the fat burning zone and how long post cardio does the body typically stop burning body fat?
So when you're looking at the fat burning zone and lower intensity exercise, If you keep the intensity very low, then as soon as you're done, there's going to be a very short window where you continue to burn calories.
So you mean like walking, basically?
Right. So like, if you ever signed up with a very old school philosophy of doing cardio, getting ready for a bodybuilding competition, go walk and do your cardio, maybe walk at an incline. So as soon as you're done, you're pretty much done burning calories with that activity. Whereas if you're going at a higher intensity, you're going to continue burning calories post-exercise.
Yeah. So the exciting thing about post-exercise, and what we're referring to, the scientific term is Epoch, or
excess post-exercise oxygen consumption.
Yeah, so basically, the second you stop, what happens in the period following? So this is why we do not subscribe to the idea of the magic fat-burning cardio zone, unless it is your goal to only burn fat when you're performing the cardio, which is not really the goal. Right. Our goal is basically to have the most effective cardio. So in a 20 or 30 minute cardio session where you're doing a steady state and you're burning calories, if you can get a greater impact on your fat loss goals, using high intensity interval cardio. So let's talk about why high intensity interval cardio would be better for fat loss. Can you describe what an oxygen deficit is?
So when you're looking at oxygen deficit, it means that you're going to have excess oxygen after the fact to catch up to the metabolic demands that exercise has placed upon your body. So if you look at it, you can relate oxygen to burning fat. Oxygen is a necessary step in fat oxidation, or using fat as an energy substrate. If you're using more oxygen at rest post-exercise, you're now burning more fat at rest.
Perfect.
Post-exercise.
That was the point I wanted to get at. Like, don't focus so much on getting on a machine and being in the fat burning zone, because again, as you adapt to that cardio, it's going to become less and less demanding on your body, and you're going to get less out of it. Whereas with high intensity cardio, you never adapt to it. The better you get at it, the better you perform, the more you burn fat. So let's talk about, and I know the answer to this, but what is the window, if you do high intensity interval cardio, what is the window for post-exercise that you can continue? What's the max amount of time that you can continue to burn?
It is going to be up to 48 hours.
48 hours. So a 20-minute cardio session where you're doing intervals for up to 2 days, you can continue to be burning calories.
Oh yeah. That's
crazy. So, and we're talking about effectively burning fat. It doesn't seem like fat burning zone is actually the most beneficial way to do this. Now, if you have health risks and specific goals, then maybe interval cardio isn't going to be the best for you. But when our goal is fat loss as a whole, HIIT cardio is going to be much more beneficial than getting on a cardio machine.
Absolutely.
And doing some steady state cardio. So we just wanted to talk about the idea of the fat burning zone, and yes, it does have a place. We can't do high intensity intervals every day. If we're getting into contest prep where we're training resistance training 5 to 6 days a week, maybe we do a little bit less HIIT cardio, because again, you want your CNS to recover, you want to feel good, you want to make sure your training is your priority. But for general population,
absolutely,
HIIT cardio is a great option, and don't get hung up on what those machines are.
Right.
They are antiquated at best. I've seen some of the research showing that the calorie counts are off by hundreds of calories.
Oh, absolutely.
The formulas they use are inaccurate. They're not based on an individual. They're based on statistics. So I want to thank Steven for coming in today talking about the magic fat burning zone and how it's not magic. Any other thoughts you want to give on cardio in general?
And remember, when you're doing HIIT cardio, high intensity is relative. So if you've not been doing a lot of high intensity stuff,
yeah, that's very true.
Your high intensity is going to be different than my high intensity.
Yeah.
And remember that, especially if you've been inactive before, you want to take care to be careful. And
yeah, that's another topic we can discuss, like how to perform HIIT cardio. I've kind of gone over those with some videos with Lauren and stuff, and we've talked about HIIT cardio. But yeah, VO2 max, which is your maximum output, actually improves over time. And that's why I said with HIIT cardio, as you get better at it, you perform better at it, you can still get the same benefits out of it. You might not get 48 hours benefit out of it as you improve, but it's going to be relative, and the better you get at it, the harder you can push. That's why I love HIIT cardio. Now, do we perform steady state cardio?
Of course.
Of course, because you are getting the benefit of burning some calories.
Right.
And when you're in a calorie restricted state and your goal is to lose body fat, you want to use all the tools at your disposal.
Absolutely.
But don't fear doing cardio that is not in the fat burning zone. There's nothing magic about that. There's
No
nothing
magic.
specific. Yeah.
There's nothing up my sleeves.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I don't even have sleeves.
You know, I think what I'm trying to address here are the people that feel like if they're not doing cardio in the right beats per minute, they're not actually burning fat. No, that is just basically the discussion we had about the primary fuel source during that time period. But we're not living in a vacuum of just the time that you're on the cardio machine. We're living in the whole real world of what your body is going through. Your body is always storing and burning body fat. The 24-hour full week picture is what's much more important.
Absolutely.
Than the time you spend on your treadmill. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. Fat burning zone. If you have any questions, leave comments below. If you have questions for Steven, I think we're going to do a weekly scientific, maybe bi-weekly scientific discussion, depending on what our schedules align up to be. And so we'll get Steven involved in more of that, because he's a smart guy, and I like having smart people on the channel. So feedback, questions, comments below, and we'll see you tomorrow.